friends. Welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So things have been a little rough around here. I know I have not had a video in a good little bit. We had some beautiful weather happening, and so we've been just taking the opportunity to get things done out here and just working our butts off, frankly. Hot, and the water's not hooked up. So we've been doing all sorts of things around here. My hose was disconnected, so we're going to have a whole bunch of air pockets that got to work their way out. The biggest thing that we've been doing is basically like rebuilding our workshop. There's a workshop here on our property, very handy. It's been there for a long time, no idea how long exactly. Ooh. How do y'all manage to make, y'all, ducks? Do you see this? You see all that mud? It takes about 15 seconds for this to happen. If you don't have a pond or a creek or someplace natural for your ducks to do their water stuff, you end up with mud, and a lot of it. So we were actually letting our ducks free roam for a little while so they could go down to the creek. But instead of going down to the creek, which there are pools of water down there, even though it's just about dry right now, instead, they went up by the chicken coop where they used to live for a while. When they outgrew the brooder, we had a pen up there that we kept them in while they were finishing growing up, and then we moved them out here. Well, they went back to that spot, which was right next to the chicken coop. And the 3 black ducks that you see here, those are all boys. We have too many boys. We only have 2 girls. Well, drakes, boy ducks, are like roosters. They're territorial and they can be aggressive. And they moved up there in front of the chicken coop, and they would not let the chickens come anywhere near their own coop or their food or their water. Every time a chicken would get near, they would run them off. And so here they are back in their area, their fenced-in enclosure. If you can't play nice, woo! Y'all, I'm not even kidding. Look at this. Mud! If you can't play nice, you don't get to play. So, to be honest, the boy ducks are going to go away at some point. Don't mind the girls, love the girls. But this is the problem when you get straight run babies. You don't know if they're boys or girls. And we ended up very imbalanced. Now we did have another, the lighter colored ducks, those are silver apple yard ducks. Beautiful little ducks. We used to have 3. And we're not exactly sure what happened. Because we started off with 6 ducks, 3 of the Indian runners and 3 of the Applegates. And Mr. Smith and I were out doing chores one evening, and we always start up by the chickens. We do them, we go down to the goats, and then we move on down to Sophie and Amos. Well, when the ducks were living over there in their grow-out pen, one evening we had 6 ducks, everything was fine. We went around, we did the chores, we did Sophie and Amos, we walked back up to put our buckets and scoops away in the feed area, and one of the apple yards was just laying there dead, just like that. So best guess is she must have choked on something. We have no idea. It was so sad. But like I said, those boys are going to have to go away. But y'all, look at these. Look at these beautiful red flowers starting to bloom. These are called spider lilies, or sometimes they're called resurrection lilies. You'll see the plant growing, then the plant will die off and go away, and then bam, out of nowhere you have these beautiful flowers right at the end of summer. Look at those. Aren't those neat? We have them sporadically all over the property. But as I was saying, we've been working on the workshop. It's a great little workshop. It's where we have like our deep freezer, most of our tools and stuff, and all that. But it started off with organizing the workshop, which has never been fully done 100% since we lived here. I mean, we kind of knew where everything was, but it was a little chaotic, and we're like, you know what, it's time. So Mr. Smith and I pulled everything out of the workshop, completely cleaned it out, organized the whole thing, put everything back, and now it is looking amazing in there. I bought a whole bunch of plastic totes and organized, sorted out every implement and tool and everything that I have. A box for tile work, a box for painting, a big box for painting because I got a lot of painting stuff because I paint quite a bit. A box for woodworking tools, not tools, little tools, because I've got multiple saws and table saws and all that stuff, so those things don't fit in that box. But all the other little things like my planer and just things like that. And then, you know, a box for electrical things and so everything is sorted. It's wonderful. But then we're like, okay, you know what? We also need to work on the workshop. And that meant ripping off old siding in areas where it was just rain rotted, basically. Ripping all that off, rebuilding the whole front. I think there's like 2 studs left of the entire front of the workshop that are original. We ripped it all out, completely rebuilt it, replaced all of the siding on the whole front of the workshop and the whole back of the workshop. I even did some stonework, masonry sorts of stuff, because some of the stones were loose and needed to be rebuilt. And so I did that. And then I started to paint it. Bought all the paint, came out to do it one morning, and my paint sprayer died. And y'all, I spent maybe 15 minutes trying to paint by hand. I painted the post, I painted the new trim, and I'm like, no. Like, there is no way I'm painting this rough siding by hand of this whole workshop. So I'm gonna have to buy a new paint sprayer because it was not working at all, and it was not clogged because Mr. Smith is meticulous about cleaning it. It just quit. But that has been, you know, several days of work. And then, let me pause over here for just a second. And then the last thing we did on the workshop is I built a whole new door for it, because the door that was on there, well, the door is wider than normal, which is great because you can move table saws and big things in and out easy. But it was so heavy. After we rebuilt the front of the workshop, and even though we reinforced it with like multiple studs screwed together with super long screws and made it super, super sturdy, we're like, you know what? Let's not put the original door back on. And so I rebuilt a new one. Now, it is still heavy because it's framed out with 2x4s, and then it's got siding for the skin and all of that. But it's not quite as heavy as the original, but it fits perfect. It fits so snug. There's like no gap under the bottom or the top. I'm so happy because I've never built a fitted door like that. Now I've built lots of doors for chicken coops and stuff like that, but they all sit to the outside of the frame, and this one had to fit in perfectly, and it worked. I'm so happy. And then of course we still have to do the painting, and then we are also going to replace the joists for the roofs, the roof of like some of the sheds and stuff, just because they've been there forever. It's where the metal comes down and the rain drips, and so like the last foot or so of a lot of the joists are rotted out from the rain, and we're going to replace all of those. But we are not getting to that right now. We are tired, y'all. And now we've got some other stuff going on. Y'all remember that big, beautiful, giant 10-foot table that is here when we moved in, up in the sitting area next to the house? Beautiful. I put my sukkahs over them and everything. Well, yesterday it went away because, y'all, we're having to have something really stinky and awful done. And this has been a months-long process because it involved engineers and all these people because of where we live, the mountains and boulders. Y'all, whole new septic system, from the tank to the field lines. It's costing a fortune, but it began yesterday, and unfortunately the giant table, the end of it was built over the septic tank, and so it's gone. It's so sad, but it could have been worse because I thought, or the workers thought, they were going to have to take down the stone wall and flower bed too, because they didn't think they could get their equipment in there to lift the pieces and all this stuff. But thankfully they were able to do it, and there was just one rock that was knocked loose that I'll have to fix. I'm grateful for that. But y'all, the septic tank itself was only supposed to be unavailable for a day. We're now on day 2. I set up an Airbnb for my daughter-in-law and granddaughter. My daughter-in-law is pregnant. You know, they live in the apartment that's attached to our house. My son is out of town. He's on a job. He's a welder. So I set them up in an Airbnb. But I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be that we are without facilities. They brought in a porta-john. Those things are horrifying. I can't stand them when they're clean, y'all. But here's the thing, we live in the woods. And that's, yeah. But here you can see where they've been bringing in, running the line. And the line is going to go all the way across. This is one of like the driveway area. It's going to go all the way across through here, and it's going to cross the creek, and all the field lines are over there in Sophie and Amos's area. And I don't know if y'all have noticed that there's been some brightly painted rocks. Those rocks have marked the ends of all the field lines. They brought out all of their equipment to survey and all that stuff a while back. And y'all, the guy who did all that put little flags in there. Now this was inside Sophie and Amos's enclosure. I looked at those flags and I'm like, it's going to take about 3.5 seconds for Amos to run over and grab all those flags and destroy them. And so I immediately, as the guy was pulling out, I went and grabbed some rocks, grabbed a can of paint, because we keep a few cans of paint handy, painted them bright and put them where the flags were, because I knew they wouldn't last. And that guy had to come, that was an engineer, and he had to come all the way from Little Rock to do this. So I didn't want to have him come out again. So for months we've had painted rocks out there. And yesterday I spent pretty much all day moving fencing because Sophie and Amos can't be in the area where the field lines are going to go in. So I gave them, they used to be all in there, but I moved the fencing. I installed new fencing coming around here and actually cutting into the woods right here a little bit and giving them more space over there and all the way around to the road. And y'all, the briars. I am a hot mess, y'all. I was walking through there and I was just about done. I was picking up all of my tools and my water bottle and all that stuff. My hands were full and I was coming out and one of them briars wrapped a hold of my ankle and just went all across my leg. It was awful. Good morning, Sophie. Good morning, baby. Oh, good morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hi, baby. How you doing? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the scrubbing. Oh, all right, let's get your breakfast. So there's been a lot going on around here, and that's why I haven't been doing videos. Between busting our tails trying to get that workshop put together after we ripped it apart, and then moving all of this yesterday, and the chaos of all the workers being here, and like tractors everywhere, and not having facilities. It's been a lot, and I have not even picked up my camera, other than my phone camera for little clips here and there. So after we got the workshop all organized and tidy and all of that, I also inventoried my freezers because my inventory that I usually keep was not accurate, because you know, sometimes things happen and things get taken out of the freezer or put in the freezer and they don't get marked. And so usually about once a year, I'll go through, pull everything out of the freezer, completely, you know, inventory. I'll look for anything that, you know, maybe the packaging got tore or whatever, and it's freezer burnt, discard all of that, and just make sure that everything is good. And so that's another thing that I have been doing. But on a brighter note, I do have some really amazing news. Y'all remember the dog. You know the one that I've been caring for. Now, it's not the ultimate news. No, I don't have a rescue yet for him. But right after I did that video talking about how aggressive he was, how I couldn't touch him, how he constantly growled if I like lingered too long and all of that stuff, y'all, literally the day after I posted that video, something clicked with him. And he's like a completely different dog, at least with me. Y'all, he went from being a tempered Cujo to my best friend. Good morning! Good morning, buddy! Alright, watch out. There you go. Good morning! Oh boy. Good morning! Oh, good morning! Good morning, buddy. Are you ready for your breakfast? Okay, let me get it. Watch out! You can't get in my truck! Watch out! You can't get in the truck! Oh, yes. Oh my goodness! Oh, I know! I'm your best friend now! I know! I'm your best friend! Oh yes! I'm your best friend! I know it! Yes! You ready for your food? Alright! We'll get you some food! You ready? ready for your breakfast? Yeah. Oh, I think that was fine. You need to go away, huh? Oh, so excited. Go away, horsefly. Go away, horsefly. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, here you go. Good boy. Good boy. And what is so incredibly exciting about that is that it means he is salvageable. You know what I mean? It means that if someone wants to spend some time with him, it won't take too long. As soon as that trust is established, he's going to be a great dog for somebody. He just has to know that he can trust. Oh, through there is where I was working. Whew. As a matter of fact, yesterday I had to go pick up some dog food for him. I was completely out and fed him on my way back in, but I didn't have a spoon or a fork or anything to get the food out of the cans. And so I went and I sat the cans down and I went and I picked up a stick. And when he saw me pick the stick up, he went like, oh, playtime? It's night and day. He's like a completely different dog. It's amazing. I'm so excited about that. Oh, by the way, I also noticed as I was traipsing through the woods that it's beautyberry season. Now I've still got beautyberry jelly in my pantry, so I don't need to make any more right now. But it's beautyberry season. So if you live where there's beautyberries and you've been wanting to make some jelly because you saw my video, now's the time to head into the woods. Now's the time to grab your harvest basket and go find some, because it's all over. I have a video where I talk about that, and I think I have a blog post. Well, the recipe post, I go into a little more detail about beautyberries. By the way, they are also natural bug repellent. You just take those leaves, rub them on your skin, ta-da! No more skaters. And y'all, it's supposed to rain today. So I don't know when this, I don't know when this is going to get resolved. This really stinks. Literally. So this is the new siding for the front of the workshop. We put the same in the back, and that's the new great big door that I built. However, we're gonna have to fix this. We were putting this board, this sheet of siding on late at night, and that is driving me crazy. And if you see it, I know you see it. I know you see it. So we're gonna pull that one off, trim it down so that it lines up as it should. Now later on, I'm gonna put some trim along the top with like some flashing or something, some metal that comes out so that the water goes away from the front right there. Here is the new door. Now I took the handle off the old door and installed a gate latch here that we can lock. What do you think you're doing? You wanna go in there? Watch out. Watch out, move. Move, Nubsy. So here it is. Turn the light on for you so you can see. So much better. So much better. So this is our big deep freeze. We have an additional freezer over there because when we got our half cow, it wouldn't all fit in there with everything that was already in there. So we ran and got another one and put it over there, and then that freezer belongs to our son and daughter-in-law. You know, we don't have a ton of space, so we just keep the freezers out here and it works great. That big box over there is our countertop that is going to get put in on the kitchen, or the sink side of the kitchen. And so now everything is organized. Everything is tidy. The drawers, there's some cabinets over there. They have all the things in them. We brought in, you may recognize this shelving unit if you've been around for a little bit. This was originally in the pantry, and it was the wall that created the Corey 10 boom-ish nook. But we brought it out here because it's just super handy to put all the things that we don't want to have to stack everywhere or use up space for. So it's just on the wall. Just cleaners, paints, propane, stuff like that. And then there's this old cabinet here. This was there when we moved in. Those metal cabinets and countertop over there were here when we moved in. Got a light fixture that I bought to put in the bathroom when I was doing like my mini renovation in there. But because of the way the trim is, I don't think the base of it will actually fit on the wall, and so I didn't install it. I just painted the base of the other light fixture so that it was nicer looking. So this is the tank for the paint sprayer, and so I put it on top of the can here so that I could get as much paint out of there as possible. Next week, I have to go get a paint, you know, a new paint sprayer. So I will put the lid back on there today, but this helped me get as much paint out as I could so I didn't waste any more. The paint color is called Museum. It's kind of a grayish brown color. There was no way we were going to match the actual color of the workshop, particularly because I don't think it was ever painted. I think it was just stained. But we wanted to put like an exterior paint on there to kind of just preserve the wood a little bit better. But yeah, so these are the things that have been going on. Oh, one other thing. When I went through the freezers and I inventoried and all of that, and I have a video where I talk about that. I'll put it in a link somewhere or down below so you can see it if you want to watch it. But when I was going through there, I'm like, bones. I got my beef bones from the cow and I need to use them up. So I also started a great big batch of beef stock. Now I will say, I probably had enough bones for 2. So this is going to be some really potent beef stock. But that's okay. So, y'all, this is what's been going on. This is why I've been just so busy. Have not even picked up a camera. And I apologize, I will not go that long without doing a video. I don't like going that long without doing a video. But we've literally been working from sunrise to sunset every day trying to get some of this stuff done. Just also, you know, Mr. Smith's home. He's not on a business trip. His workload this week, you know, this past week has been not so heavy. So we've been able to do stuff like this. Although he did take a day off one day this week so that he could, or last week, so that we could work on these things. The bigger things. But yeah, it's coming together. And if all goes well, this project will be much outshadowed by something even bigger. But that'll come later. All right, y'all. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining me here at the homestead for a little bit of a catch-up. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time.